Hey, good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
I would firstly like to thank everybody for the time that you guys are going to give us today. We're going to try and run you guys through the benefits of consolidating the data to manage costs and induce risks, which was the opportunity was brought to us from our partner Redbridge. Right. Okay, so just the agenda very quickly that we're going to run through is I will hand over to our CEO, Glen Scott, just to do a quick welcome and introduction from his side. Just from my side, my name is Andre Scott. I'm the Head of Business Development for MIC3 worldwide. And it's my pleasure today to be giving you guys a bit of a presentation and a live demonstration around the topic that we're discussing today. After the welcome and introduction from Glen, we've got an industry challenges video that we created, which we'll quickly play, which will lead us nicely into the slideshow presentation that we're going to do, and after which I will follow with a quick 10-15 minute live demonstration, and we'll leave about 10 to 20 minutes at the end, just for any questions or answers that you guys might have. In the interim or during the presentation, if there is any questions that come up that you guys want to ask, please feel free to type them in the chat box. We do have some people from our site online as well, and I'm sure they can answer you in the meantime, or you can just keep it until the end of the call and then we can discuss it verbally. Right, so with that said, I would like to introduce Mr. Glen Scott, our CEO and founder of the Effectly platform and of the holding company MIC3. Over to you, Glen.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, got you loud and clear, Glen.
Great, thank you. So, first of all, I'd like everybody just to take a minute and just quickly read the quote from a very dear friend of mine, Robert Maybury, who's been a friend and a mentor and built some of the largest corporations in the world. In fact, he was the youngest CEO of a listed company in South Africa, and today runs a practice that does peak performance management. And as we've been developing Effectly, he's been one of the people that have inspired me, and I thought I'd share that quote with you today. And before I really go into the significance of what Dr. Maybury has done with us, I would like to take a minute just to introduce myself. I'm Glen Scott. I'm proudly South African. I'm currently in Lake Tahoe in the USA. It's 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning here, so excuse me if I sound a bit creaky. I'd also like to introduce our esteemed business channel partner, Redbridge, who has really made today possible for us. So thank you very much, Indran and team, for making that possible. Effectly is essentially the product that was developed by our company is MIC3, which is based in Malta, and we've been building the product for the last 15 years or so, and really working with organizations around the world to truly find the peak performance that we can get out of it. And I'll go into a little bit of detail on that in that. And the main thing, I guess, with today's theme is the value that the software is going to create in organizations. So this is the important part that I think we all want to talk about. And I hope that today we'll be able to show you exactly how we see Effectly adding that value to your business and to our customers and our partners. Any sales information that you need, please refer to Redbridge. They are our point of contact, and then be happy to answer any of your questions that you have today. Indran Pillay is the director of Redbridge, and Ashok Naidu is the pre-sales consultant with the cybersecurity and data solutions. And I think, yeah, so please feel free to reach out to them. And I think collectively we'd like to thank the South African Institute for Mining and Metallurgy for the opportunity to speak today. We really do appreciate it, and we hope that what we have to share today is going to be of value to everybody. Right, coming back to the question that we looked at earlier from Dr. Mabry, one of the things that we realized very early on is that the problem that we're trying to solve is not a technology problem alone. And I think what most people are faced with at this stage is that there's this thing that we've created called the optimal performance zone. Now, the optimal performance zone of an organization is really made up of three sections. You have your people, your processes, and your systems. And where these three things intersect that you see in this graphic, there's this thing called the effective optimal performance zone. And if you can increase the relationship between your systems, your people, and your processes, if you have a look on the right-hand side, once the graphic is stopped, is the ability to integrate everything. We need to be able to command and control things. So we need to have a single view of that. Andre, if you can just halt it at the end so that all the, just press pause on it just right at the end, I think.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you. So a single live view of the operations, existing authority to achieve the goals. This is at the heart of what Effectively did, was to be able to make sure that we could give you a command and control view, because if we think of it as a military operation, that's what you do every day. You have all these assets, you have all these people, you have a goal, which is to go and do something. In the military, they have a goal to go and whatever they do, and we as business have a goal. So the similarities are very, very close. And then along that journey, we need to exercise control, because if you don't have control, I mean, that's what makes armies different to sort of, commercial businesses, is that they have absolute control over the assets that they're working with. In obviously commercial sense, that's not always possible. So we need to increase the control over what we're doing. And then a very important thing is the contextual collaboration, being able to communicate in context. We've seen what these chat systems have done. We've seen what result of email. I mean, the world is just, one of the things I talk about is to try and rid the world of email. And I see that somebody has finally beat me to writing a book on it. But I truly would love to see a day where we can reduce that workload and give people back their time, because I do think we're wasting a lot of time in that area. We need to then also be able to interpret what we're doing. So this is where artificial intelligence and machine learning is coming into play, and present this back to the organization live in real time. So it's give the organization a steering wheel to be able to make decisions timeously to move things around. And if we achieve this, we have the optimal performance zone, or we can increase the optimal performance zone. And we have a number of examples in our customers where this optimal performance zone has been increased. And that is when the true return on investment comes. So I really want to thank you all again for the time and for listening to us today. And I'll hand over to Andre and the team to take you through the rest of everything. So once again, thank you very much for having me, and look forward to the rest of the presentation.
Thank you very much, Glenn. Really appreciate that. So in order for us to understand the mining challenges, we need to understand the global objectives of the industry. So we've put together a video based on the research that was done by KPMG on relevant industry challenges. These challenges can be overcome using computerized solutions such as Excel spreadsheets, emails, and it can continue to rely on after-the-fact data, so to guarantee operational visibility. Digitization and data asset solutions are only now being embraced and implemented to their full potential. Resources mining needs to get onto the transformation bandwagon and embrace the benefits within the space.
In 2021, KPMG reported that 64% of respondents agreed that the mining industry needs to consolidate their data in order to manage costs and risk more effectively. Key issues identified were environmental risk, including new regulations, commodity price risk, permitting risk, political instability, access to capital, including liquidity. the ability to access and replace reserves, and regulatory and compliance changes and burdens. According to a Deloitte report in the same year, some of the top issues in transforming the future of the mining industry include the demand to go green and the ability to convert renewable energy. Improved safety, a critical pillar that is central to mining, and one that can be enhanced with access to the right technology and accurate, real-time data. And advance towards connected, informed workers and stakeholders. The integration of operations that require the cleaning up and consolidation of data across the value chain. The ability to create an agile supply chain. One which can only be achieved through the ability to better understand supply chain and weight inventory management against costs. Corporate governance and accountability is being monitored and scrutinized by investors, customers, communities and government, specifically with regards to corporate behavior. Human rights, ethics, diversity, and changing social norms. Overcoming the social trust deficit by building sustainable socioeconomic benefits within the communities. The ability to meet and accurately report on ESG commitments with data on emissions throughout the supply chain. Regain investor trust by embracing ESG to create shareholder value and use M&A strategically. And adopt stress testing strategies to build and ensure resilience amid volatility. Welcome to Effectly for Mining. Effectly is a disruptive technology and game-changing platform that provides consolidated real-time data to drive informed decision-making, and gives mining companies the tools to address all of these challenges. And so much more. Our agile, scalable, multi-tenancy solution has been proven to help mining companies build integrated organizations with connected workers and stakeholders, as well as ensuring visibility and transparency across the value chain. Through the ability to bring your people, processes and systems closer together, you will achieve the Effectly optimal performance zone and reap the benefits that include accurate real-time measurement of KPIs and return on capital investment, significantly mitigate risk to people and the environment, efficiently manage and track the mining value chain in real time, from liberating ore and minerals to processing and moving to market, provide an open window for connected stakeholders through the ability to provide value chain visibility, all while significantly reducing operating costs, improving efficiencies across the organization, increasing revenues, and ensuring long-term sustainable growth. Effectly. Own your data. Orchestrate everything.
Right. So how do we tackle your industry challenges? With optimizing the data that you gather? Big data analytics and visualization are key when needing a bird's eye view of the complex operations such as yours. There are various stakeholders, from workers to shareholders, all wanting a piece of the data to speak to their needs from their organization. Disparate information is an intelligence killer, but meaningful data is king. Talking about data, what about big data in huge formats and various and sources? So you collect this data easily, I'm sure. And we agree, but however, how do you make your data intelligent? How do you make different sources of data relevant? How do you turn data into meaningful intelligence? There are various tools that can solve any one of these questions, but do you want to go to the expense to replace your systems that you already have? Do you want to deploy 15 different systems and solutions and integrate them with one another? And do you convince yourself of which system? Who owns your data? How do you access the data? Do we need to upscale our IT infrastructure to support this lot? The questions are endless. In an ideal world, you want to get the best one from all the grapes. A business operating platform is an industry game changer, but these systems are expensive. They are difficult to use. They are difficult to operate. They take time to get deployed. Your industry needs a toolbox of functionality that you can pick and choose and start with the problem areas in your business, and at your own pace, scale the system to your needs to improve each cost center in your business. Data is overwhelming enough. So create visibility. And there's two questions that we ask ourselves here, is why and how. So why? Because there is currently no cookie cutter solution out there where you can go to see the full mining life cycle, or is there? I'm not aware of it. Without visibility, there's no value. The power of data allows you to leverage your opportunities, face your challenges, and mitigate risk. Being visible is about being invested in your success of your stakeholders. Being visible allows your business to become a well-oiled machine. How? By creating value through adopting of disruptive fourth industrial revolution technologies. So looking at this case that we're creating here, we see that within business value creation, there's 4 very distinct pillars that needs to be in place with every organization to bring about this efficiency that's lacking in organization. And these 4 pillars are safety and productivity, efficiency and performance, data insights, and robotic process automation. Safety and productivity. The ability to detect or detection of abnormal safety conditions, not just the ability to be able to gather if somebody's wearing the right safety equipment, but also a system that can proactively run through external data sources like potential security threats, weather patterns, things like this that will drive the performance of people doing their job in the field. So something going very much from a reactive to a proactive scenario. Before somebody starts, having the system run through these things and warning somebody that they need to be aware of specific things that's coming down the line. Early detection of abnormal mechanical conditions. So very important to be able to obviously have full visibility of all the equipment out there, but also the ability to pick up if something is stepping out of a threshold, stepping out of a safe environment that is about to do something to that device and then to your site and then to your bottom line. So the ability to pick up that something is either at a low level, high level, or something is about to happen, and then being able to react to that thing before it actually becomes a real event or a real aspect affecting the bottom line. Consolidated or shared control. Using operation workspaces and visual devices. It's very important to obviously to give everybody pertinent the right information at the right time from anywhere, so that they can get down to the granular level of information that they need, whether they're in the field, whether they're in a knock operation, wherever they are, whether it's management, the ability to give people the access to the system and to the information they need at the point that they need it. So it's important to have a system in place that is not restrictive to a specific device, a specific operating model on a device like Android or iOS. You need an open platform that people can access safely from any device and anywhere. And visualization of data relevant to safety and productivity. It's imperative that data is relevant. Without it, your decision making isn't meaningful. Safety and productivity values hinges on predictive models to preempt issues and to react to anomalies immediately. Next is efficiency and performance. Tracking and optimization of resources such as energy, water, and workforce. So it is important to bring all of these disparate things together into one place. It's easy enough to monitor water, and it's easy enough to monitor energy coming into siloed environments. But if these things are not talking to each other, and also very importantly, if you don't bring in the people component, the workforce component into the mix, then you are still inefficient. You need every system to sit in one manager of managers platform, one pane of glass, where they are talking to each other. You can see how one thing is linked to another, and you can also automatically react and call out somebody to come and do something about something that is happening within the mining organization. Waste reduction and recycling of waste also allows for value creation. The impact of how waste is managed can be positive rather than adverse. Monitoring and analysis services across all business units. So besides the obvious benefits to productivity, automation may also increase efficiency and performance through monitoring and analysis of data across all business units and within the value chain. Transformative technologies such as 3D modeling, AR, VR, spatial data is becoming clearer and more detailed. Digital twins in particular are really effective in infrastructure upkeep and inspection. And one of the tools that we do use is a digital twin, where we can show the live monitoring of every single thing that is on a site or a plant, and of course also the GIS and the maps and layers of information that you can turn on and off within the platform. 100% reliability. Mining equipment reliability is becoming an important issue. High reliability is vital to mining profits. Equipment availability is crucial for production. So predictive equipment maintenance increases reliability, extract more availability to improve efficiency and performance. And lastly, reduced cost per ton. So from system availability optimization through to shutdown interval assessments and strategy review and development, a solution-based approach will help you overcome your challenges and ensure your reliability improvement initiatives to be aligned and delivering against business performance goals. Implement an ongoing cost, risk, and performance management process. Thirdly, data insights. So first point is supply data for analytics. So supply data gathered for analytics assists with scenario forecasting. An example being simulate repair scenario optimization. Integration of separated equipment. Disparate systems these days is a problem. We all deal with a multitude of disparate systems that we have to touch on a daily basis to get through our day. In a large organization or industry like mining, there is a multitude of disparate systems that people have to touch on every day because the data is siloed within that specific disparate system. So to look at the water and the generator, these are all specific siloed systems that's doing a very specific thing. But if these things are not coming into the same place and are interacting with each other, you will not become efficient within your organization because there's too many disparate systems, too many user interfaces that people have to learn how to navigate and how to work with. But once it comes all into one place and the usability is easy, then it's easy to make business decisions within your organization because you can see how the one thing interacts with another or how it affects anything else within your organization. Bringing equipment, systems, and people together. So coming back to our to Glen's point around the OPZ, bringing people, processes, and systems together and creating the optimal performance zone. This is where the efficiency lies within an organization, or the inefficiency lies within an organization. Visualization of data. It's very important. Of course, most people start off with a platform where you want to see everything, and it needs to be very usable. So you want to see everything on one pane of glass. So it needs to give the ability to the user to be able to go to a map, go to a specific operation or a plant, bring up exactly what is being monitored, see what all of these things are linking back to within the organization, and how these things are performing. So visualization of the data is extremely important. And we do that in our platform with a variety of ways, from maps to digital twins to reports and dashboards and charts and these types of things. And then lastly, a robotic process automation. So what is robotic process automation, or RPA? To accomplish the right outcomes and derive maximum value from RPA, it is for you to leverage the right platform. An effective BPM implementation works in conjunction with a robust BPM platform, which Effectively Designer most certainly is. So in essence, RPA is a process exercise. It holds prominent value for organizations. The bottom line is processes must be streamlined for you to automate human activities and reap benefits to the fullest. Complex task design. So it's one thing to have a system or to have BPMN or BPM and mapping out the processes, especially in mining. It's extremely important because the one problem that I found in mining, or the one massive concern that comes in mining, is that when somebody's been working for an organization for 30, 40 years, 20 years, that person sits with an amazing amount of IP in his mind as to what processes needs to follow when something happens or when anything out there is occurring. Now, they are normally the people that drive these processes, make sure people follow it. But when that person is about to leave or to retire, that IP is stepping out of the company with him. So you need a tool within your organization to capture the IP, to capture the specific sequence of steps that needs to occur when something happens. And you need to be able to capture that within a BPMN process and make that available to the organization so that if anybody leaves, the IP doesn't leave with them, but the IP is actually being captured into the organization, and you can use it going forward to streamline your business. Stabilizing legacy systems. Now, a lot of the times, a lot of these systems that's out there is proprietary systems that only talks to their own devices, their own things, and it's a siloed system. But a lot of times there's a lot of legacy systems, a lot of legacy devices that's already been bought, deployed, and that's already out there. And you essentially, the ideal solution for the mining industry is not a rip and replace solution. It is a sweating the existing assets that's out there solution. So you need an agnostic solution where you can come in and sweat those existing assets, pull them into your operations layer, and be able to work with those up until the point where the company makes the decision to actually remove those devices and upgrade to better, newer things out there. So having an agnostic system is imperative to bringing all of this data, systems, devices, people, everything together into one system. Process standardization for uniforming and better resource allocation. Uniformity and better resource allocation is built into processes, so for process standardization. And change management. Change management needs to be instant in order for process automation to be effective. It's normally the biggest stumbling block that we come across is for people to accept the change, to accept the fact that there's a new way of doing something. And this is obviously very imperative to any organization. So one of the visualization tools that we deploy within the platform is a digital twin. Our digital twin it works on a semantic and ontology engine that works in the background of our platform, because essentially every single thing is an entity, and every entity is linked via relationship to anything else. So as an example, a sensor has a relationship with the generator that it sits on. That generator has a relationship with the site that it's sitting on. That site belongs to an organization that owns the site, and the organization employs these people that looks after these sites. So if you need to be able to make those link those relationships, and that again gives the user the ability to click on one thing and see exactly from a digital twin, first of all, what is being monitored, what is on, what is off, live readings from everything that's being monitored. So to give the user the ability to get to that granular information. And also the ability to manage a specific site. So over and above the monitoring of a specific device and seeing that the grid is on and it's feeding the rectifiers and the generators and the BTSs or whatever else it's fed, being able to see that if the grid is off and the generators has now switched on, and that is now pulling fuel from the fuel tank. So giving the user the ability to go into either a site scenario and bringing up a digital twin to see exactly what is being monitored on that site, what is on, what is off, what has got a relationship, and what has got a cascaded scenario with anything else. And then being able to click on any one of these components on the site and drilling down into that component's digital twin to see the individual readings of that specific component. So a digital twin is a very powerful visual tool that we deploy to the platform. And we normally try and get the guys to a digital twin within 3 clicks to be able to give him all the granular information from a site monitoring point of view. So data assets in mining. So data is an asset. Without data, there is no value. Consolidating your data allows for your industry to manipulate different types of data from one point of access, turn raw data into insights, and drive better, faster decisions drive better, faster decision making. Okay, so that is the end of our slideshow. What I'd like to do now is to quickly jump you guys into a live demonstration. And after that, we will open up for some questions and answers. Righto, can I just confirm that you guys can see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Good. Okay, so I'm going to start this demonstration from our maps module. So maps is normally the place where a lot of people do their monitoring. This is where they monitor if something is moving, if it's working, whatever it's happening. So I'm going to start straight off from the maps module. Now, first of all, it's important to note that you can create multiple maps. You might want a map specifically for a specific plant, for a specific mine. You might have multiple mines, and you want to have a specific map for each mine. So the ability is there to create a specific map, and everything in the platform is permission based. So you can give specific permission to people as to what maps they've got access to, and even what entities that's being monitored they've got access to. So for this scenario, I'm going to go into the mining use case quickly. So I'm just going to open up that map. And what I'm going to show you guys today is how do we take a platform within a mining space, and how do we bring about that efficiency that's lacking? How do you reduce costs and manage your risks within an organization? So immediately as I come to a map, I can see that I've got a whole bunch of things that's monitored, but I might not want to see all of this information. It might not be relevant to me. So I might want to turn off these layers. And on the right-hand side, I've got multiple layers that you can apply to any one of your maps. So the first thing I might want to do is to say, show me the organization, the head office. So I can see it's an effectively head office. And from here, if I want to, I can click on that head office and just go and have a quick look at the entity. So now I can click on the entity and I can go to the attributes of this specific organization. Who's the mine manager? What's the total employees, days without incident, last fatality date, operations attributes, weather attributes, all of this information that I might need at a click of a button. So let's take it one layer down. So we've got the operation or the organization. And let's now have a look at the processing plants, and I can see that there's 3 there. So as I open up that layer, immediately the information gets displayed to me. If I go to any one of these processing plants, I can either zoom into it from a map, or I might want to go specifically into, let's say, this processing plant. And once I'm here, I might want to say, okay, now that I can see the plant, again, I might want to have a look at the attributes of the plant quickly. So I can see that the longitude, latitude, the crusher information, the conveyor information. This is all system fed information coming from all of these disparate devices. So what I'd like to do while I'm on this plant is I'd actually like to open up the entities layer, so the assets that's being monitored. So as I do that, I can see that there's a few things that popped open for me, and I can see that I've got 2 generators on site, but I also might want to see what people do I have in the vicinity. And as I turn that layer on, it shows me the people that is on the site or that's close by. This system, the effective system, can track any mobile device that it's running on. So if anybody's using it on their phone in the field, we can actually put a dot on the map and show you who is closest to a site or what's happening there. Now from here, I've got a whole bunch of assets that I can monitor. And I can go into any one of these things, but let's go have a look at, let's say, specifically the mining generator. From the mining generator, again, I can click on it and I can go and have a look at the information that this generator is sending me. So what is the current fuel level? What's the RPMs at the moment, the voltages, the temperatures? Is there any mechanical faults? So from a very quick overview, I can see that everything is fine with this generator. If I needed to have a look at a person, I can do the same again, go into their attributes, and I can see that this person is field operations. They are available, and the communication method is radio. Now, this information is pertinent. It might be very important at that moment when something's about to go wrong to know very quickly what is the contact number of this person. How do I talk to him very quickly? And within this platform, over and above having the attributes, you can actually go into the profile of somebody and open up contextual chat where you're not talking specifically to that specific person and you're not contextually collaborating around a very specific problem. So it's not an email, it's not a WhatsApp that's out there and you don't know where your IP sits and belongs. It's very contextual to a specific person, a specific entity, or something that's out there. Okay, but what I might want to do for any one of these generators is I might also want to see what is the relationships that this generator has with anything else in my organization. Now, this is extremely powerful because by one click on anything, on any entity, it tells you that this product is supplied by this company. And if I want to have a look at the company, I jump into their profile. I've got documentation, contact information, anything I need to see around this specific electrical company. I can see the owner of the site is this mining company. This product is related to this processing plant, and that this person is responsible for this generator. So immediately I can see the attributes, what is happening to the thing live in real time. I can see who's responsible for it, what is it linked to. And if I wanted to take it one step further, I could go into the generator and I can say, show me the digital twin of this specific generator. And what they would do is it would open up a digital twin of that generator, giving me all the granular readings around every single component of that one component really on the site. So the RPMs, the voltages, the temperatures, everything in the site. Now we can apply this digital twin to a multitude of things, to a battery stack scenario. It might be a reservoir or some water monitoring scenario on the site. It might even be a dashboard scenario that gets pulled up. So you don't specifically want to see the components of the actual device, but you want to see a live dashboard. And this is uniquely structured to the organization or what you want to see. All we do is we have a look at the data and we pull that through. So visibility is extremely important. To be able to go to a map, open up layers of information, click into that thing, see what is happening with it, how is it related back to anything else, being able to chat around that thing to specific people, and to be able to bring up the second layer digital twin to, on a very granular level, be able to monitor anything on that specific site. So monitoring is extremely important. Now, what if something happens on one of these sites? What if one of these components steps out of a threshold, goes dry, breaks, the conveyor belt's overloaded? What happens then? So from a visual point of view, the icon should flicker at you. It should pull your attention, the user's attention, that something has gone wrong with one of these devices. The icon might change color from yellow to red, or from one color to the next, but it pulls the user's attention to it. So that must mean that an event has occurred. When an event occurs, it comes through to an events monitor that will then display on the events monitor that it's a Power PLC related event. It came in a few seconds ago, and it's a severity 2, it's a refueling issue, whatever the case might be. This will then prompt the user to then have a look at the actual event. So let's say like this one. And if they really want to get extremely technical, they can go into the raw data that's actually been sent by the device to see exactly what this event is all about. But from here now, there is something that needs to happen. Something needs to occur, because it's the if this then that scenario. So now that I know that my site's going down or something's broken or whatever, what next? So an event occurs, and then this is where the automation comes in, because within the Effectly platform, sorry, let me just get back to my opinion. Within the Effectly platform, a process will take that event, kick off a process, and it will then create a task that is sitting in somebody's A box. So a task, somebody's been manually tasked to go somewhere and do something. So as an example, here's a mining Jira app that we've created. This is somebody starting their day before the day. They say that it's assessed by them, it's checked and it's validated. They give the exact space at the end, and it gives them a description. We then consider weather patterns, and we also consider security related information that's coming from external sources. This is pertinent to the person to know that if they need to stop or if they need to keep going, and if there's anything that either is going to endanger them or that they need to be aware of. Then coming into the process, they would answer a form to say, I'm competent, I know this, I've got my right equipment on, everything's fine. If they say they're wearing the right equipment, they will take a photo with their phone, it will attach it to this ticket, and you can always refer back to it at any given stage. And they will say that, yes, I've been declared competent, and yes, everything's fine. So then it gives them a mining Jira isolation record, and then they will fill out the relevant information around the specific task. If they were to say, let's say, no, I'm not competent, the process will stop them and say no go, and then notify your supervisor, which will then send a location stamp and tell their supervisor this person doesn't know what they're doing, and they need to stop before they go into the workforce, before anybody gets injured. This process is just mitigating the risk to the organization to know that if something did happen, that they did the correct checks, that all the relevant equipment and everything was assessed and was worn, and that from a company's point of view, that every possible prevention was taken to make sure that the person was safe. This is a typical ticket within Effectly. So it's somebody somewhere kicking off the HERA process. They fill out the form and it's on record. You don't have, it's not a document that needs to be filed anywhere, and it's sitting in somebody's A box. Now, from a typical ticket, I can go and I can see, first of all, what is the priority that somebody's put to this? So I can give it a higher priority. The user can indicate to me how far they are in the process. I can reassign this process easily to another person if I find that it's relevant, and I can put a due date to start that on it, which will then allow me to see it in a timeline where I can see exactly who's done what for the day. And you can apply a whole bunch of filters and things to that as well. And then finally, the last thing I want to touch on quickly is the processes that I speak of in Effectly are these icons at the top here. Now, we give a tool within the platform called the designer, where the company can come in and capture that IP that I spoke of earlier. So they can come into a process. Let me just choose one that's a bit more intricate. They can map out the sequence of steps that needs to happen within an organization. And behind each of these steps, there's logic that sits there. So there's a scripting task. There's a digital form that's popping up on someone's phone. But if I had to refine this process, I could easily just come in and say that I'm adding another step to this block. It's going to interact with that block there and there. And in that block, I now build a digital form. And this will be a process, a new step in the process that the guys will follow. Within the platform, the processes are there. It's all permission based. So you give permission specifically to people to use it. And once they're in the environment, a process can be either completely automated. So if something happens, automatically the process kicks off, or there's manual processes that people use, like the HERA task. They kick it off once they're about to start their day. They fill out the form and it's captured in the system. And you can then, of course, at the end of the day, come to your analytics module, and you can come in and pull any type of report around any thing within your organization. And again, we actually give this tool where you can build your own reports, because essentially now all of your data is sitting in one operations layer, and you can structure any and every type of report that you want within your organization. Right. Thank you guys very much for your time. I appreciate you guys listening to me. I'm now going to open the floor to any questions or remarks or anything that you guys might have.
Andre, you have a question in the Q&A tab, if you can see it.
I unfortunately cannot see the questions. Anya, if you guys can maybe read it out to me, or...
So the question is, hello, is your business model selling directly to clients, or you also have consultants that can sell the product to clients? In this case, you would sell licenses to consulting companies. And this is from Teti Molai.
Thank you, Teti. At the moment, we are following a very strict partnership model. So we work through Redbridge in this environment, in the South African environment. Redbridge comes with a wealth of experience and resources and things that we specifically don't come with. The platform that we supply is a software solution. We don't really play in the hardware space because, as I've mentioned, we are completely agnostic to hardware and software. So really any devices that the client wants to deploy or is already deployed, we can pull that in. So at the moment, we deal purely through the partnership model and to the likes of Redbridge managed services. And no, normally we do not deal with clients directly. It always comes through a partnership, a partner model. I hope that answered the question. Any other questions, guys?
Nothing's come up yet.
Just a reminder that anyone can put up their hands in case they have a question. Doesn't necessarily need to be in the tick box or in the message box.
Alrighty, I guess there's no questions at this point. We welcome any questions afterwards, guys. If there is a question that you guys might come up with afterwards, you're welcome to share that with Camilla or with Indran from Redbridge directly, and we will endeavor to make sure that we come back with an answer. If there was any uncertainty around the platform specifically, or even around the use case that we just discussed.
Andre, just a question from me. Can we share this presentation with the attendees afterwards?
Yes, absolutely, no problem.
Thank you.
Alrighty, if there's no other questions, which can either be a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure. I'm hoping your guys' jaws are hanging on the floor and that's why you can't speak, but that's just me wishful thinking. But you guys are welcome to please go check out YouTube or our website. There's quite a few videos that we've done for YouTube. Other videos that was also done in the mining space. You're welcome to go and view those. Just type in the word effectively and you'll see a couple of videos popping up, which should give you a good understanding if there wasn't something that wasn't clear throughout the presentation. But if there's nothing else, Camilla, I don't know what the protocol is normally for this. If we just hang around and wait for people to ask questions, or do we wrap it up?
Andre, I think we can wrap it up. I think if there are any further questions, people can reach out to you directly or through me. But I think we can wrap it up now. I don't see any other questions in the chat, except for Waleed, who said, hi, informative and valuable info. Thank you. And there aren't any further questions in the Q&A. So I think we can wrap it up. Thank you.
Brilliant. Guys, I just want to once again from my side, thank you guys very much for the last hour that you've granted us to make your ears bleed, I believe. It was really a pleasure for MIC3 and Redbridge to come and talk to you guys about the space. I also just want to really thank the SIAM Institute for granting this opportunity and arranging this, Camilla and the guys. Thank you very, very much. We really do appreciate it. And yeah, everybody have a great afternoon further.
Thank you, Andre. Goodbye, everyone.
Alrighty. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.